4-1PNCR-22552 and Samantha E. Fernandez, 2K-1PHN-16963. This is DZYW 99.5. Now signing on.
Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Live from Kool Studios, this is koolNews Early Edition.
Well, good morning, and welcome to koolNews Early Edition. It is July 3rd, 2024, and today we'll be starting your day with the headlines from yesterday and today from where we have missed. So let's get started. Okay, so let's just go search for the headlines now. Let me just get to the let me just get into the morning headlines in a bit, but first alright, so let's go to Inquire now. Let's go to Inquire. Okay, first top story for this morning. Tony Angara will be replacing Vice President Sara Duterte as the new Education Secretary, the palace announced today. The Presidential Communications Office will take the helm. Vice President Sara Duterte resigned. She did not provide, only explained that her action was a sign of weakness, as it was steered by compassion for teachers and students. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has announced that he is set to appoint Senator Juan Edgardo Soni Angara as the new Secretary of the Department of Education, DepEd, replacing Vice President Sara Duterte, who resigned last June 19, 2024, effective July 19, 2024, PCO said in a statement. According to the PCO, President Marcos announced his decision to choose Angara as DepEd Secretary during the 17th cabinet meeting in the Mandaluyong Palace and on Tuesday. Sony has agreed to take on the brief on the Department of Education, the PCO quoted Marcos as saying during the meeting. It also noted that Marcos emphasized before cabinet members the critical role of the DepEd and the necessity for the leader capable of overseeing its operations. DepEd is arguably the most important department given the crucial role of education, said Marcos, as he pointed out that there were many excellent candidates for the position. The PCO likewise said that Marcos expressed appreciation for Duterte's service as DepEd chief and that he anticipates a smooth transition with the new department leadership. I am committed to working with all sectors of society, including my predecessor, Vice President Sara Duterte, to ensure that every Filipino child has access to quality education. I look forward to building upon her accomplishments, he said. Education is the cornerstone of our nation's future, and it's through collective effort that we can address the challenges and seize the opportunities ahead. I am eager to collaborate with President Marcos and the entire administration in serving our students, supporting our teachers, and enhancing the overall quality of education in our country, he added. Prior to his appointment, Angara served as a senator from the 16th to the President Congress, or since 2013. He chaired multiple Senate panels, including the Justice and Human Rights Committee, Finance Committee, and Youth Committee. Angara has a Bachelor of Science in Economics from the London School of Economic and Political Science and a Bachelor of Laws from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. He also obtained his Master of Laws from Harvard University. In an abashed interview on Monday, July 1, Angara said he is open to being the next step ahead if offered to him. Opo, yes. Open tayo kung sakaling pagtakiwala lang. We're open if given the trust, he told reporters in Baylor, Aurora, where the senator attended celebrations for the 22nd Philippine-Spanish Friendship Day. Senators have been expressing support for Angara to be the next step as secretary, citing his extensive educational background. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, here we go. Following weeks of pointed exchange in the diplomatic and military spheres, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and Chinese Ambassador Hu Ang Silian met on Monday in Madalang to discuss mutual concerns, particularly transnational crimes. The meeting, which came days after the June 17 attack by China Coast Guard personnel of Filipino troops en route to Ayungin Sagatama Shoal in the West Philippine Sea, was held to explore ways to strengthen bilateral efforts against transnational criminal activities, including countering illegal offshore gambling operations, according to the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, which is chaired by Bersamin. China expressed its appreciation for the recent actions taken by Philippine law enforcement authorities to counter illegal offshore gambling and to rescue several Chinese nationals, the PAOCC said in a statement on Tuesday. Officials from the Chinese embassy in the Philippines, according to the PAOCC, have been actively collaborating with their Philippine counterparts on this issue. This mutual support demonstrates the commitment and determination of both countries to curb transnational organized crime effectively. The PAOCC said the strengthened operation or cooperation between China and the Philippines, according to the PAOCC, sends a clear message to criminal syndicates that malicious activities will not be tolerated nor allowed to undermine the security and stability of these nations. It said the meeting also paved the way for the exchange of expertise, intelligence sharing, and collaborations, enabling the authorities on both sides to effectively disrupt and dismantle criminal networks. In a separate statement issued by the Chinese embassy, it said the two key sides exchanged views on recent key cases of mutual concerns and agreed to strengthen China-Philippines law enforcement cooperation. The embassy did not specify which transnational crime was discussed, but the more controversial ones of late involved Chinese nationals arrested for links to illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators known as POGO. Last month, the embassy urged the government to ban Pocos for having engendered other serious crimes. Ample evidence shows that Poco beats serious crimes such as kidnapping for ransom, human trafficking, and murder. Poco is detrimental to both Philippine and Chinese interests and evidence as well as China-Philippines relations, the embassy said in a statement on June 14. The Chinese government is committed to protecting the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese citizens. We appeal to the Philippines to ban Poco at an early date so as to root out this social ill, the statement added. Aside from a Guo Wanrento case, the Office of the Solicitor General will also file another petition against suspended Bambang Tarlac Mayor Alesco within the week. We're just waiting for certified copies of our documentary evidence from official sources, Solicitor General Bernardo Guerrava told the inquiry on Tuesday. He did not give additional details. Under the rules of court, a Warranto petition is an action taken against a person who usurps, intrudes into, or unlawfully holds or exercises a public office, position, or franchise. According to Guerrava, the case may be filed before a regional trial court, the Court of Appeals, or Supreme Court. He earlier said the court warrant of petition against Guo would be filed within the month. Last week, the National Bureau of Investigation revealed that Guo's fingerprints matched those of Chinese passport holder Guo Huaping, who, according to Senator Rizal Niveros, entered the Philippines in 2003 as a 30-year-old using a special investor resident visa. The NBI based its findings on a comparative examination between Guo Huaping's fingerprints on her 2006 alien fingerprint card and Guo's fingerprint in her 2021 biometric printout. Guerrava earlier said the NBI's confirmation would be extremely useful in the legal actions they were working on, but added that they still needed to tie it up with other existing evidence to come up with a cohesive picture. Guo has been under scrutiny for her alleged ties with the operations of an illegal Philippine offshore gaming operator Poco Hub in her town. On June 21, the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission filed a qualified trafficking charge against her and 13 others over her alleged involvement in the grand conspiracy to commit labor trafficking of around 500 foreign Poco workers rescued during a raid in March. Questions were first raised about Guo's citizenship in inquiry after Hontiveros noted that her birth was registered only in 2013, or 17 years after she was supposedly born in 1986. Her baffling responses to Senators' questions prompted speculation that she was a Chinese asset sent to infiltrate the government. Senator Sherwin Kachilian meanwhile asked Guo to come clean and identify the big bosses of Pogos involved in criminal activities in the country. Guo can play a crucial role in exposing the truth and ensuring that those involved are held accountable, he said in a statement. I urge her to come forward and cooperate with authorities and expose the main players of illegal and criminal offshore gaming operations, he said, adding that in doing so, Guo can reduce her culpability. Culpability. And ahead of the new debt chief position taking effect later this July, the chair of the House Committee on Appropriations on Tuesday urged the incoming Education Secretary, Senator Juan Edgardo Angara, to review the Department of Education's proposed budget for 2025, which was prepared under the agency's outgoing chief, Vice President Sara Duterte. In a statement, Acoppico Representative Zaldi Co, chair of the House Committee on Appropriations, urged Angara to scrutinize the prepared 2025 DepEd budget and make sure that budget directly solves the quality crisis in our country's public K-12 schools. We look forward to meeting the new Secretary on the State of the Nation address on July 22nd and during the budget hearings. Go Adam. The sooner you take hold of the DepEd reins, the better. Angara's appointment coincides with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s signing of the 6.352 trillion pesos proposed budget for next year, where social services like education, health, and anti-poverty programs are again expected to take the bulk of the allocation. Last year, DepEd was allocated the highest budget of 924 billion pesos, of which 450 million pesos was initially set aside as confidential funds. It was later scrapped during House deliberations after Duterte failed to defend its use. Meanwhile, other lawmakers seeking education reforms urged Angara to prioritize improvements in the students' performance and teachers' demand for better working conditions. ACT Teachers Representative Franz Castro and Pasig Representative Roman Romulo, who chairs the House Committee on Basic Education, said they expected him to in his new position. As the education sector, in view of its dismal world ranking, said Angara must focus on improving the implementation of the Mandatak curriculum to improve students' skills in reading, math, and science. The Mandatak curriculum was introduced in 2023 under Duterte to raise the performance in the three core subjects. However, as we saw last year, the implementations leaves much to be desired as the curriculum was piloted in only 35 DepEd schools when we have about 38,000 elementary schools, Romulo said. So there really needs to be a more aggressive approach. Castro called Angara an improved choice for a new education chief, but said he must hit the ground running and immediately address the education crisis in our country, as well as the long-standing demands of teachers and education support personnel. For starters, Angara should overhaul the K-12 program and launch a comprehensive review about its implementation since 2012, she said. We in ACT Teachers Party List are ready to work with the new DepEd leadership for the benefit of our learners, teachers, and the entire education sector, Castro said. Speaker Martirami Altes also congratulated Angara, saying the chamber is eager to collaborate with him and confident we will make significant strides in uplifting our education system under your leadership. Negros Occidental Representative Jose Francisco Benitez, another EdCom 2 commissioner, said Angara intimately knows the ins and outs of our education system and understands it from a finance and management perspective. Well, we still have a lot of headlines to cover right here on koolNews Early Edition, so stick around, people. We will be right back. So, welcome back to koolNews Early Edition. Let's continue with the headlines of what's happening for this time. Okay, so let's go to our news source once again. Okay, so let's see. Do we have anything new here right now? It looks like we do have a brand new headline, so we will get into that right now. So yes, this is going to be West Philippine Sea coverage. So here we go. The Philippine Coast Guard PCG drew up the air of its Chinese counterpart when it dispatched 3 vessels on Monday to resupply Filipino troops stationed at Philippine-occupied features in the West Philippine Sea, including Escoda Sabina Shoal. Commodore J. Trella, PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, said the deployment of the 44-meter multi-role response vessels with bow numbers 4402, 4404, and 4409 was an exceptional occurrence at a time when China's forces outnumbered the Philippine side in the disputed waters. But on Tuesday, the China Coast Guard CCG said Manila violated Beijing's sovereignty and undermined peace and stability in the South China Sea with its action. Chinese state-run Global Times, quoting CCG spokesperson Gan Yu, accused the Philippines of bringing a large amount of supplies and even suspected construction materials, suggests that the Philippines intends to eventually establish a permanent facility at Escoda. The shoal lies about 139 kilometers or 75 nautical miles from the coast of Palawan province. Since April, the PCG's largest and most modern vessel, the BRB Teresa Pagnua, has been deployed in Escoda in response to the presence of Chinese military vessels and suspected reclamation activities in the area. Escoda is also the assembly point of Philippine vessels conducting resupply missions to Ayungin Secretarial Shoal, where Chinese ships frequently harass Filipino vessels delivering supplies to the grounded BRB Sierra Madre, a remote military outpost there. Tarela said the 3 PCG vessels went to Escoda after successfully completing their resupply missions to various maritime features where the PCG had stopped stations before heading back to port. It was truly an exceptional occurrence in the West Philippine Sea yesterday as 4 PCG vessels were nestled together, creating a remarkable sight, Tarela said in a post on X. As a PCG officer and a proud Filipino, it fills me with immense pride to witness our vessels proudly flying our flag, Tarela said. They serve as a symbol of unwavering commitment to maintain and assert our rightful position in the West Philippine Sea, he added. The CCG, however, insisted that the Philippines' movements violated China's indisputable sovereignty over the sparkly island chains, including Xinbinjiao, the Chinese name for Escoda. The whole process was closely monitored and controlled by the CCG, the Global Times said in a post on X. The Philippine ships stationing at Xinbinjiao violates China's territorial sovereignty and maritime rights, contravening the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea and undermining peace and stability in the region, Gunn said. But Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, Philippines Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, said the Philippines was only exercising its sovereign rights in its own water. We can do anything that we wish to remain our exclusive economic zone. These are actions that the Philippines will pursue if and when necessary, Trinidad said at the press briefing at Camp Aguinaldo in Quezon City on Tuesday. Suffice it to say that we will continue ensuring the integrity of our territory and the protection of our sovereignty, he added. At the same briefing, Trinidad noted that there were fewer Chinese ships in the West Philippine Sea during the last monitoring period from June 25 to July 1st, when 95 Chinese vessels were sighted, compared with 129 spotted from June 18 to 24. There has been a drastic reduction of the People's Liberation Army Navy, Chinese Coast Guards, and maritime militaries in the area that we monitor in the West Philippine Sea, Trinidad said. We don't want to speculate on the reduction for whatever reason. This will be subject to further assessments, he added. Also on Tuesday, a demo platform the Vatican, Archbishop Paul Gallagher, the Holy See Secretary for Foreign Relations with States, called for a peaceful dialogue between the parties in the South China Sea conflict during his visit to the Philippines. At the press conference in Manila, Gallagher was asked about the maritime conflict between the Philippines and China. There are far too many conflicts in the world today, and we need to promote peace and dialogue and negotiations. And we believe many of these things, the Holy See and the Republic of the Philippines, share the same value and vision, Gallagher said. The Vatican diplomat arrived in Manila on Tuesday for a 60 official visit. He met with President Marcos at Mandalang shortly after the press briefing. It was the first official visit by the Vatican foreign minister to the Philippines in 72 years of diplomatic relations, according to the Department of Foreign Affairs. Gallagher also met with Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo to discuss collaboration on various sectors, including education. As it's loading on my hand, it's being yeah. Just give me just wait for the headlines for to load on my end. Okay. For some reason, I am having some technical difficulties with the website loading, along with the well, might have to go restart the Wi-Fi on my phone just to be on sync. There we go. Hopefully it loads. Alright, now it says back online. We are good. Okay, so let's go continue with the headlines, and let me synchronize the live stream on my phone just to be sure. There we go. Alright, let's continue. The Philippines has remained in the lower middle income country group under the latest rankings of the World Bank for fiscal year 2025, marking a setback for the Marcos administration's ambition for the country to reach the upper MIC status within its term. The Philippines has been classified as the lower MIC since 1987, reflecting the slow progress the country is making to expand its economy in step with population growth. The World Bank ranks countries according to their gross national income per capita, which for the Philippines rose to 4,230 in 2023 from $3,950 in the preceding year. This puts the country in the lower MIC group, which under the World Bank's Atlas mandate includes nations with a GNI per capita of between 1,146 and 4,515 dollars. Climbing to the upper MIC group will in the coming years will also be more difficult for the country after the World Bank increase in 2023 the threshold for upper middle income status to GNI per capita of between 4,516 and 14,000 $5 between 4,466 and $13,845 previously. These income thresholds are updated annually at the beginning of the World Bank's fiscal year on July 1st to adjust for inflation. GNI is the total amount of money earned by a country's people and businesses. It is used to measure and track a nation's wealth from year to year and includes of the gross domestic product (GDP) plus the income it receives from abroad, such as remittances from overseas Filipino workers. As of July, World Bank data showed that among members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, the Philippines is grouped with Laos, PDR, Cambodia, Myanmar, and Vietnam in the lower MIC bracket. Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia remain in the upper middle income group, while Singapore and Brunei were in the high income bracket. The latest grouping saw the West Bank and Gaza slipping to lower middle income status, while Algeria, Mongolia, Iran, and Ukraine transitioned to the upper middle income nations. Palau, Russia, and Bulgaria moved to the high income bracket. The latest data from the WB marked a stumbling block for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s target to make the Philippines an upper middle income country earlier by 2025 or in early 2026. Marcos, in his inaugural State of the Nation address in 2022, had originally targeted for the country to belong to that income bracket by 2024, before deciding to push back that goal due to the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Secretary Arsenio Balisacan of the National Economic and Development Authority last week said that the country's goal to reach upper MIC status could be achieved only in late 2025 or early 2026. The economic team during the Duterte administration had also targeted to bring the Philippines to upper MIC status by 2030, but this was stalled due to the pandemic. Prior to the health crisis, the WB had been optimistic about the prospects of the Philippines moving up to the upper MIC group. In its country partnership framework for the Philippines for the period July 2019 to December 2023, the multilateral lender noted that with a young, digitally engaged population and one of the fastest growing economies in Asia, the Philippines is increasingly positioned to deliver on its ambitious national development goals. It said the doubling of GDP per capita over the past two decades from $1,607 in 2000 to $3,022 in 2018, adjusted for the effects of inflation, made the country an important place of transition on several fronts. First, the Philippines is supposed to cross the threshold from lower MIC status to upper MIC status within the next 3 years, the WB said then. The delayed climb to upper middle income status, however, may benefit the Philippines at a time when it plans to borrow more from multilateral lenders and bilateral development partners to repay the debts incurred by the government to fund a costly pandemic response. Had the Philippines become an upper MIC this year, it would lose access to congressional interest rates currently being charged on official development assistance loans. And continuing the new debt achieved, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Tuesday named Senator Juan Edgardo Sony Angara the new Education Secretary, a day after the lawmaker indicated his willingness to accept the post if offered to him. In a statement issued shortly after his appointment was announced, Angara said he was deeply honored and grateful to the President for the trust he has placed in me. He also told reporters in an interview that he would seek advice on how to do my job well from the cabinet, his colleagues in the Senate, experts in education, and my predecessors. The appointment of Angara, whose second term as senator ends next year, comes exactly 2 weeks after Vice President Sara Duterte resigned as education chief, a move seen to have confirmed her soured relations with the president. Her resignation takes effect on July 19. News of Angara's Selection was welcomed by most stakeholders in the education sector, including activist groups that were red tag or linked to the communist insurgency by the outgoing DepEd head. A statement by the Presidential Communications Office said Marcos made his choice known at Tuesday morning's cabinet meeting. Tony has agreed to take on the brief of the Department of Education, the PCO quoted him as saying. The Palace Media Office also said Mandalang anticipates a smooth transition at DepEd once Duterte's resignation takes effect. Upon the guidance of the President, we will soon begin the transition process with the Office of Vice President Sara Duterte, Angara said. I eagerly look forward to building the gains made during her stunt at the department. Together with the dedication of all stakeholders, we will strive to create a brighter future for our nation through education. A lawyer by profession, Angara was among several choices recommended for the education portfolio by leading groups in the sector, namely the Coordinating Council of Private Educational Associations, the Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities, and Philippine Business for Education. Other candidates recommended by these groups included Social Welfare Secretary Rex Pachilian, Trade Secretary Alfredo Pascal, Negros Occidental Representative Jose Francisco Benitez, and former Finance Undersecretary Milwida Guerrava. The PCO cited Angara's extensive legislative history and championing significant educational reforms since he joined Congress in 2004. Among these accomplishments are Angara's authorship of the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, Republic Act Number 10931, which mandated free tuition in state and local universities and colleges, the Enhanced Basic Education Act, RA 10533, which mandated the K-12 curriculum, the Balikat sa Pagtuturo Teaching Supplies Act, RA 11997, the Open Distance Learning Act, RA 10650, the Universal Kindergarten Act, RA 10157, and the Anti-Bullying Act, RA 10627. He was first elected Aurora Representative in 2004. By 2010, his last term in the House of Representatives, he headed the panel on higher and technical education. He is son of the late Senate President and former University of the Philippines President Edgardo Angara and ex-cultural center of the Philippines Chair Gloria Mandalang. Angara earned his law degree at the University of the Philippines, Master of Laws degree at Harvard University, and economics degree at the London School of Economics. Angara said he only received confirmation of his appointment moments before Marcos' announcement. On Monday, he told reporters he was open to being appointed to DepEd if given to the draft by the president. On Tuesday, he acknowledged to reporters that he had met with Marcos. I told him what I would do if I were the education secretary, but I wasn't sure that I would be appointed after the meeting, he said. His colleagues in the Senate already hinted at his impending appointment right before it was announced. Senator Lauren Lagarda said on X just shortly after the PCO's confirmation, "Congratulations, Senator Sonny Angara, on your DepEd post. So well deserved. We are here to support you." Senator Rizal Diveros in a statement called Angara one of the most qualified and acceptable DepEd secretaries among education reform advocates. Senator Sonny will have a lot on his plate as education secretary. Besides the crisis in education, he has to strengthen the education system and demonstrate compassion and concern for our education workers and learners, she said. In a statement, BDE said Angara's wealth of experience and even political savvy will serve him well in his new post. The Alliance of Concerned Teachers, the teachers union that Angara's predecessor had red tag, said they know him to be open to dialogue with teachers groups and for his consistent stand on improving the welfare. ACT hopes that Senator Angara will remain to be amicable, different from his red tiger predecessor, ACT Chair Vladimir Guedua said in a separate statement. Lawyer and humorous activist Jose Manuel Chaldicno also welcomed Angara's appointment, saying that he has his work cut out for him as our students and teachers continue to grapple with the learning crisis. He has to buckle down to work immediately and address the pressing challenges and needs of the education sector that have been overlooked by the previous leadership, Dugno said. The Teachers Dignity Coalition said, for now, we welcome the senator to the department and request a meeting with him at his earliest convenience. The group said Angara should readily engage with teachers groups to help him tackle the challenges in the education system. Alright, it is now 6:15 in the morning and we will be right back for more headlines on koolNews Early Edition. Welcome back to koolNews Early Edition. So you're still with us for some morning headlines right here. All right, let's continue with the headlines now. Okay, let's continue. The Nacionalista Party is set to forge an alliance with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s Partido Federal ng Pilipinas in the run-up to the 2025 midterm elections, with the president's sister, Senator Amy Marcos, expected to be of its senator lineup. This was according to Circle del Norte Representative Robert H. Barbers, who said the oldest political party in the country would formalize its alliance with the administration PFP by the end of their month. We are in the process of firming up the alliance between NP and PFP, and I am pretty sure Senator Marcos will be part of the slate, he said. Marcos, who is seeking re-election next year, earlier announced that she was not sure if she would be part of the administration slate following a public fallout between her brother Marcos and close friend Vice President Sara Duterte. Okay, alright. The Department of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday condemned the recent ballistic missile launched by North Korea, saying it causes tensions to rise in the Korean peninsula and instability in the Indo-Pacific region. Two ballistic missiles were launched 10 minutes apart by North Korea on Monday, just a day after the joint military drills among South Korea, Japan, and the United States concluded. The Philippines condemns the DPRK's Democratic People's Republic of Korea latest ballistic missile launch, which provokes tensions and undermines economic progress, peace, and stability in the Korean Peninsula and the Indo-Pacific region, the DFA said in a statement. The Philippines has repeatedly called on the DPRK to also comply with its international obligations and the relevant UN, United Nations Security Council resolutions and to commit to constructive and peaceful dialogue with the Republic of Korea, it added. The cybercrime complaints in the country dropped by 36% during the first 6 months of this year compared to the same period in 2023, according to the Philippine National Police. Citing the anti-cybercrime group's ACG data, PNP spokesperson Colonel Juan Forjado said on Tuesday that they recorded 8,177 complaints from January to June, lower than the 12,808 in the same period last year. These complaints include various schemes, including online selling, investment, and credit debit card fraud. The significant decrease in cybercrime complaints from January 1 to June 30, 2023, compared to the same period in 2024, reflects the effectiveness of cybersecurity measures implemented by businesses and government agencies, AGC said in a separate report. The continuous effort of this group in conducting cybercrime awareness programs campaigns also contributed to lessen the commission of cybercrime offenses in Ireland. Over the weekend, however, the PNP reported a surge of 21.84% in the number of cybercrime cases in the first quarter of this year compared to the same period in 2023. Citing data from the entire cybercrime group ACG, PNP said the most prevalent cases were online service scams, credit card fraud, and investment scams. In line with this, PNP General Romel Marbel announced an intensified drive against cybercrimes. He added that the police force will allocate more resources and enhancing capabilities to combat the growing threat of cyber-related offenses. While we wait for the new headlines in our source, let's get into the international headlines that you might have missed from yesterday. So, President Joe Biden warned Monday that the U.S. Supreme Court's landmark ruling on presidential immunity sets a dangerous precedent that Donald Trump will exploit if elected in November. The conservative-dominated High Court ruled that Trump and all presidents enjoy absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts taken while in office, but can still face criminal penalties for unofficial acts. For all practical purposes, today's decision almost certainly means there are no limits to what a president can do. This is a fundamentally new principle, and it's a dangerous precedent, Biden said in a speech at the White House. Trump is facing criminal charges over his attempts to overturn his 2020 election loss to Biden, but that trial had been put on hold while the Supreme Court considered his immunity claims. The 6-3 ruling on Monday, split along ideological lines, is set to further delay proceedings in that case, almost certainly till sometime after voters head to the polls in November. The American people must decide if they want to entrust, once again, the presidency to Donald Trump, now knowing he will be more emboldened to do whatever he pleases, whatever he wants to do it, Biden said. Conservative Chief Justice John Roberts, in his majority opinion, said a president is not above the law but does have absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts taken while in office. The president therefore may not be prosecuted for exercising his core constitutional powers, Roberts said. As for a president's unofficial acts, there is no immunity, the Chief Justice added, sending the case back to a lower court to determine which of the charges facing Trump involve official or unofficial conduct. Trump is charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States as well as obstruction of an official proceeding when a violent mob of his supporters tried to prevent the January 6, 2021 joint session of Congress held to certify Biden's victory. The 78-year-old former president is also charged with conspiracy to deny Americans the right to vote and to have their votes counted. The public has a right to know the answer about what happened on January 6 before they are asked to vote again this year, Biden said. Now, because of today's decision, that is highly, highly unlikely. It's a terrible disservice to the people of this nation. The three liberal justices dissented from Monday's ruling, with Justice Sonia Sotomayor saying she was doing so with fear for our democracy. Never in the history of our republic has a president had reason to believe that he would be immune from criminal prosecution if he used the trappings of his office to violate the criminal law, Sotomayor said. In every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law. Orders the Navy SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival, immune. Organizes a military coup to hold onto power, immune. Takes a bribe in exchange for pardon, immune, 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 immune. Trump imposed on Truth Social welcomed the decision, calling it a big win for our Constitution and democracy. Today's historic decision by the Supreme Court should end all of crook Joe Biden's witch hunts against me, he said. TVH Group, a law professor at the University of Illinois Chicago, said the ruling means the case is going to drag on more and more and longer and will be on the election. To the extent that Trump was trying to drag his feet and extend this beyond the election, he has succeeded widely, Chadwin said. The opinion also provides a roadmap for use either to avoid prostitution for a particular action simply by intertwining it with official government action, he added. That's going to seriously hamstring the prosecution of a former president because the president's official actions and unofficial actions are often so intertwined, he said. Facing four criminal cases, Trump has been doing everything in his power to delay the trials until after the election. Trump was convicted in New York in May of falsifying business records to cover up a sex scandal in the final stages of the 2016 campaign, making him the first former U.S. president ever convicted of a crime. His sentencing will take place on July 11, though his lawyers have sent a letter to the judge in that case seeking to set aside the verdict in light of the immunity ruling, U.S. media reported. By filing a blizzard of pre-trial motions, Trump's lawyers have managed to put on hold the three other trials which deal with his attempt to overturn the 2020 election and forward top-secret documents at his home in Florida. If re-elected, Trump could, once sworn in as president during 2025, order the federal cases against him closed. Alright, so just give me a moment. Alright. Fontana Development Corp. I think I have already read this if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Okay, I have not, so let's keep going. Fontana Development Corp. has responded to Clark Development Corp.'s threat to cancel its lease agreement following the June 27 raid of 5 villas inside the 200-hectare Fontana Hot Spring Luxury Parks here for alleged human trafficking. While CDC has not disclosed the content of the FTC's reply, a source in the state-owned corporation told the Inquirer on Tuesday that the response contained explanation basically the same with its Fontana statement on Facebook. The source was referring to FTC's June 28 statement, saying it does not own three of the 5 villas that authorities raided on June 27. In the statement posted by the FTC on the Facebook page of Fontana Hot Spring Electro Parks, formerly known as Fontana Electro Parks, it said the villas numbered 713, 716, 742, and 743 were already sold by Fontana to the owners some 10 years ago. Said said villas have been turned over to their corresponding owners as of 2014, and as such are not under possession and or supervision of Fontana, it said. Because these villas were already turned over to their owners, Fontana has no authority over the same and cannot just enter any of the villas without permission from the owners, and added. It did not mention the names of the individuals who bought the villas. On June 28, CDC President Agnes de Vanandera wrote the FTC and Fontana Resort and Country Club Incorporated President Simon Wu, asking him to explain within 24 hours why a raid took place within the estate for alleged human trafficking. De Vanandera directed Wu to explain why its consolidated lease agreement with the state-owned firm and the certificate of registration and tax examination should not be revoked or terminated in light of the serving of a court-issued search warrant on the 5 villas. Failure to comply with this order shall result in a severe penalty, she said. While FTC had already replied to CDC, the letter had yet to announce any action or its next move. In a statement, FTC did not mention two of the raided villas, number 633 and 767, sold to or now owned by other people or entities. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, along with the Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group and Special Action Force and CDC Public Safety Department, served the search warrant on villas number 633, 713, 716, 742, and 767 on the night of June 27. Of the 5 residential units, FTC said only villas number 713, 716, and 742 were sold to the owners. The CIDG found that no trafficked persons were found in villas number 633, 742, and 767. In a search warrant for human trafficking issued by Judge Hermendegilo Dumlao II of the Malolos Bulacan Regional Trial Court Branch 81, he particularly ordered law enforcers to seize and take up possession of the gray vault items in villa number 716. POCC spokesperson Winston Hasir said the vault was already secured and would be presented to the court. The warrant also stated that Aldufong Alisbao of Boga and Dawei Alice David, said to be the bosses of the raided Philippine offshore gaming operator Pogo and Baban, could be inside the 5 villas. They were not there. A day after the raid, Bureau of Immigration Commissioner issued a mention order to look for illegal aliens in one of the raided villas in coordination with POCC, CDC, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines. 3 Chinese identified as Huang Xingheng, 23, age of 23, Xinghang Kuifang, age of 46, and Huang Zi Haisheng, age of 54, were arrested after they failed to produce necessary documents. Garcia said the 3 had a direct link with Pampang Pogo big boss Huang Ziyang. Chen, he said, is suspected as a Pogo manager, while the 2 others are Huang Ziyang's personal staff. Okay, alright. Let's see if we have more headlines so we can read for later. Alright, surprisingly, it's still the same. So anyways, it is 6:41 in the morning and koolNews Early Edition will return after these messages. Welcome back to koolNews Early Edition. So 11 minutes before we send you off to the music zone with us. Okay, so let's continue now. Let's see if we have any new headlines for this moment. All right, in a surprising move, there's no new headlines, so very surprising. But okay, so well then, we can have to go recap the yesterday's headline status. So there you go. All right, let's continue now. Last week's five-session winning streak. By the closing bell, the benchmark Philippine Stock Exchange Index shed 0.62 0.62% or 39.81 points to 6,358.96. The broader all shares index, meanwhile, slipped by 0.48% or 16.80 points to close at 3,462.67. A total of 422.91 million shares worth 3.94 billion pesos changed hands, stock exchange data showed. The gross decline came on the heels of five consecutive trading days of gains after investors cheered a possible August rate cut. Sarah Alvar, research analyst at Phil Stocks Financial Incorporated, also noted that the slight decline in S&P Global Philippines Manufacturing MPI, which signified a growth slowdown, weighed on sentiment. Investors are likewise trading cautiously ahead of the June inflation data released on Friday, Ford added. Banks registered the steepest decline as index heavyweights BDO Union Bank Incorporated, Metropolitan Bank, and Transco and Bank of the Philippine Islands all slipped by more than 1%. Hong Kong-led Universal Robina Corp was the top-traded stock as it went down by 1.01% to 107.30 pesos. It was followed by International Container Terminal Services Incorporated, up by 0.86% to 352 pesos. Alia Corp down 2.08% to 565 pesos. SM Investments Corp down 0.48% to 828 pesos, and BDO down 1.50% to 128.50 pesos each. Okay, so give me a moment. I have to go fix the studio real quick since I just got disconnected from the game. So give me a moment before I can show you the studio again in the stream. So I have to set it up again. But that's all. Let me just fix that right now. Since apparently I am the only technical team who is doing koolNews, and I'm the only one who is awake at the moment. So bear with us. Okay. Hopefully that will do it. Just do things real quick. Just move it here, just like sure. Give me a second, guys. Sorry for your long wait, but again, Roblox out of nowhere, or maybe my internet just dropped. Who knows? But out of nowhere, it got disconnected. So that's I have to do it. Okay. Let me see. Wait a minute. I think I have the. Just have to. So Windows the comment. Hopefully anything shows up. Because again, my computer is very slow doing the stream, so bear with us, huh? Bear with us. Okay, looks like so. Here we go. Okay, all right. Fine. Okay, I don't know what happened, but anyways, let's check if we have new headlines. Okay, there we go. It didn't lag this time, so that's a good thing. Let's see if it's going to work. There you go. All right. Just need one more thing. Okay. Hang on. Okay. We'll do it. Hopefully. All right. Yeah, we'll do it. It's lagging. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I think we're all good, right? All right. We're all good. Okay. Back to normal. Let's check if we have brand new headlines. All right, we just have a brand new headline. So we will end this here, and then we're done. Now now that will be the last international headline, and once again we will be wrapping up soon. The White House announced Tuesday that President Joe Biden will meet with congressional leaders and Democratic governors sit for a network TV interview and hold a press conference in the coming days, a blitz designed to push back against growing pressure for the 81-year-old president to step aside in the 24 race after his disastrous performance in last week's debate with Republican Donald Trump. We really want to turn the page on this, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said of the intensifying calls for Biden to bow out of the race. She added that the president had no intention of stepping aside, characterizing his debate failings as simply evidence of a bad night when he had a cold. During a campaign later Tuesday, Biden blamed it on jet lag after two back-to-back European trips. I wasn't smart. I decided to travel around the world a couple of times, he said. The president added that he didn't listen to myself about travel and joked that he felt asleep on stage during the debate. But Democratic leaders were increasingly signaling that they were not buying White House attempts to brush off Biden's performance in the face-off as a momentary lapse after he gave halting and nonsensical answers and trailed off at times. There's growing anxiety among donors and on Capitol Hills about the president's ability to win come November, according to people who spoke to the Associated Press on the decision of anonymity to discuss internal conversations. And it's not helping that Biden has yet to reach out to legislators who are growing increasingly frustrated that the White House has not satisfactorily explained how such a seasoned politician could have performed so badly. Questions square whether this was an isolated incident or part of the pattern. Two people who spent time with Biden behind closed doors described similarly. He was often very sharp and focused, but he also had moments, particularly later in the evening, when his thoughts seemed jumbled and he would trail up mid-sentence or seem confused. Those people spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity to discuss the president's interactions behind closed doors. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told MSNBC that she believes it is a legitimate question whether Biden's performance was just an episode or this is competition. When people ask that question, it's legitimate, of both candidates, Pelosi said. But she did not go so far to ask him to step aside. Pelosi said she had not spoken with Biden since the debate, but she emphasized that the president is on top of his game in terms of knowing the issues and what it is at stake. And the spokesperson later said Pelosi had full confidence in Biden and looks forward to attending his inauguration on January 20, 2025. Okay, so it is 07, and that will be it for koolNews edition. So that means it's time to wrap up the news for now. But the headlines will continue later with koolNews at 11 a.m. Don't forget, koolNews at 11 a.m. Until then, I am Asker, and this has been koolNews Early Edition. Have a good morning, stay safe, and take care, and we will see you later for more headlines at 11 a.m. Goodbye for now, and good morning.